早安，我亲爱的朋友。每次的影片都是从早餐开始呢。先把今天的活力准备起来。很高兴昨天罢工的相机今天复活了。我想他连续工作好多天也是需要放假啦。跟我们一样，每工作一段时间就要流放自己。今天是北欧行程最后一天的旅行活动了。哥本哈根新港的运河游船。开船跟回来的船舶停靠这里，是童话大师安徒生曾经住过的地方。新港的游场活动是很值得参加的一个观光行程，在短时间之内可以初步的认识这个城市。今天的影片没有音乐，没有歌曲，或许你会更喜欢原汁原味的收音效果。如果你愿意，你可以告诉我你喜欢怎么样的搭配。这个行程结束之后，我们即将搭乘阿联酋飞往杜拜，然后再由杜拜回程回到台湾。整个系列的影片或许没有那么紧凑，那么精彩，希望为你生活中带来一些缓慢抒情的片段。
它的第一班船就是10点，
第一班船10点，
对，就是我们就
哇，
刚刚还没有拍到这个，就代表没了。
真的吗？
这个，
对啊，
对，没有错，这个是最主要的。还有一条线哦。
哎，没跌倒。
哪里？这里的，这里。啊，停，来，还有，啊，就是拍我啦！我一直闪，你一直躲，会的。对啊。不用人，不用大，没关系啦。
要。Yes, it is. Me too. That's what I was telling my wife. In Texas, we only had like 150 years for civilization.
我那边不能过。嗯。
Das ist jetzt um 10.
Ich bin am Profi, aber setz dich erstmal drauf und dann klären wir alles weitere.
When we approach one, I'll tell you to please stay seated and please sit down. Please do so. It is for your own safety. You are not allowed to touch the bridges, you are not allowed to smoke on board, and you'll find your life jackets under your seats. Now welcome, my name is Suresh, I'll be your guide today, and I hope you'll be having a great hour with us in the Copenhagen Canal St. Harbor. Now the first bridge that we are going to sail under is actually the lowest bridge of the tour. So it is extremely important that you listen to the instructions that I gave. Please don't touch the bridge and please stay seated when I tell you to in just a second. I know at first hand I almost got hit by it once, so.
Farmers Market, Welcome Harbor.
We are now approaching the first and lowest bridge of the tour, and I'll try to tell you a little bit about where we are right after. Please stay seated. Please sit down. In the back, please sit down. Thank you.
Oh, 第一个桥掉了，掉了，掉了，掉了。
And the place we are now is called Nyhavn. And Nyhavn was dug out by Danish soldiers about 350 years ago to make a connection between the sea and Kongens Nye Torv, which is today called Kongens Nye Torv. It was for many years a place with murky sailors' pubs and the ladies of the night that came with them, but now it is a place where you really can't find the ladies of the night, but there's still great pubs, and you can find a great ice cream here in the summer day like today.
Orange. Wow.
And now, coming up on your right-hand side, you'll see the paper island. It is called the paper island because the printed media used to store all its paper right there. But it was actually made for a different reason. It was made in 1695 artificially for the Danish Navy to keep all of its cannons and cannonballs and ammunition there. But now, as you can see, it is a place for apartments. And the apartments, just to give you an idea of how expensive they are, the most expensive one with 2 stories went for 10 million euros. And you can also see some construction next to the apartments. That's because they're making swimming holes here. And every year for the past few years, they've said this year the swimming holes will be ready, and this year is no exception. It'll be ready in 2026. And now on your right-hand side, you'll see the Opera House and the Opera Park, which were both gifts from the A.P. Miller Foundation, owned by Maersk, the second biggest container shipping company in the world. They used to be the biggest, but they got beaten. The Opera House is extremely special. It has 14 stories, 5 of which are underground. The main auditorium can hold up to 1,700 people at once. And if you stand in the middle of the main auditorium, it looks like a heart to symbolize the love for music. The tiles on the outside of the Opera House can actually be played on like an instrument. They are built in a way where each one of them has its own unique note. The Opera Park itself is also very special. As you can see, the trees and plants in the front are a lot shorter than the ones in the back. So when you look at it from the other side or sail past it like we're doing, it looks like a real theater stage. It also has plants and trees from all different seasons, so there's always something green to look at. And now in the distance on your right hand side, you'll see a big building with a chimney and smoke coming out. That building is called Copenhagen, and that is one of the most modern garbage energy plants in the whole world. It actually burns so much trash every year that we sometimes have to import it from other countries just to keep it going at full capacity, and it gives energy to about 300,000 homes every single year. It also has a ski slope on the top that they use in the winter season, and Europe's highest outside climate facility on the outside, and cafes inside too if you want to visit. And right next to the Opera House on your right hand side, you'll see some construction, but that's not actual construction. This is actually a preserved area that used to be a place where a lot of ships were made in Copenhagen. This is the place where, for example, the royal yacht that our royal family uses was built. But now, like I said, it is a preserved area to show the historical significance of this place. And now on your right, we are slowly approaching a military zone, but this military zone is actually open to the public most of the day because a lot of the things I'm going to talk about are museums you can visit. The first thing I want to talk about is up on the dock. The black submarine that you see there, that submarine is called the Seal. And the Seal was used in the Iraq War to keep weapons cargo out of Iraq. Right next to it, you'll see a mast crane. This mast crane was built with only ropes, no nails or screws were used in the construction of it. But that is on purpose as it makes it extremely strong and extremely flexible and still very, very strong. It can hold up to 20 tons and mast ships up to 40 meters high. Right next to the mast crane, you'll see the F352 frigate, or as we like to call it in Denmark, Pileskam. And Pileskam was the flagship in the Cold War and was one of the most technologically advanced of its time. Its name Pileskam is named after a famous captain. Now, it's also known for a different reason here in Denmark, other than being the flagship in the Cold War, because just about 30 years ago, it had a very, very unfortunate malfunction where a missile was shot from it and it hit a summer house area. Luckily though, it was a winter season, so no one was there, no one got hurt, but 4 summer houses were completely destroyed. And now on your right, behind this frigate that I talked about, you'll see a military zone with the Danish flag. This military zone is Battery 60s, and from Battery 60s they shoot cannons every sunrise and sunset to mark the start and end of each day. Luckily though for the neighbors, they made a deal to never shoot the cannons before 8 in the morning because we are in modern times and people have to go to work. So it'd be quite annoying to wake up to cannons at 4 when you have to go to work 4 hours later. They made the deal to never shoot the cannons before 8 in the morning for sunrise, but sunset still follows later. And now you'll get a beautiful view of the cannons on Battery 60s. If you thought, whoa, they're using the really big and cool cannons here, they actually are not. They're just using the 2 small white ones that you can barely see from here. And now on your right hand side, everything you see here is called Devsanderen, and it was the biggest workplace in all of Denmark, being a man-made island with over 10,000 people working there at once. But now the man-made island is a place where young people reside and young people hang out. You see the containers where it says Urban Rigger on them? Those containers are not just normal containers, they are actually student apartments. It is also a place where a lot of events happen, like last week where Copenhagen was held, and it also has the biggest food court in all of Denmark, called Vetten. And now let me give you a little bit of a marketing lesson. Never underestimate what Danish people do for something that's free. You see the crane on your right hand side? That place is a place where you can bungee jump from. And when they first opened up, they had a brilliant idea to do a campaign where you could bungee jump for completely free if you went there completely naked. Hundreds of Danish people lined up and they had to end the campaign immediately. And now we are slowly approaching the main attraction of the tour for many of you, the Little Mermaid. But let me give you a little bit of history before she comes up. The Little Mermaid was built in 1913 and was a gift from the owner of Carlsberg as he fell in love with the character after seeing her in a ballet performance in the Royal Theatre. He immediately ordered a statue to be made of the Little Mermaid and gave it as a gift to the city of Copenhagen, which you'll get to see today.
在这里了，哇哦！要去叫他上船吗？
Now she will come up on your right hand side, so be ready to take pictures on her backside. And there she is, the Little Mermaid.
是这样。有模子对了，所以可以翻。
都已经备品找好，已经都做好了，被破坏就开始这个新的备货。
Now she might be a little disappointing to some of you. She was actually crowned the second most disappointing attraction in all of Europe, being beaten by the little boy pissing in Brussels. But she's actually been vandalized quite a few times. Her head has been cut off once, her arm has been cut off twice, and paint has been thrown at her multiple times, but she's a very, very strong woman and she still stands, or sits. Now, if you want to fight the other tours for a front side view of her, you can always take our hop on and hop off buses and get 20% off with the tickets you use today. Just a fun fact that I'm obligated to say.
Wow, 5个人50。
教练不帅了。
你要靠近一点，要不然会拍到我是第三个，中间。
And now on your right hand side, you'll see two small buildings with green rooftops. One of them has a crown and the other one has an onion. These are the royal pavilions where the royal family awaits their royal yacht, and the one with the crown is where the royal family awaits, while the one with the onion is where their guests await. Now you can also see some lamps with dragons on them. This is because back in the day, they thought that dragons would protect buildings against fires. And luckily this one hasn't burned down yet. You'll see that other ones may have burned down, even though they had dragons. And do you remember when I mentioned the second biggest container shipping company in the world? Well, this is their headquarters, Maersk. And now on your right hand side, being blocked by a big private yacht called Freedom, you'll see 3 buildings in a row. These buildings used to store wares from the colonies we own. You see, Denmark used to be a colonial power. We don't try to hide that fact, we try to highlight it because of the tragic past. And the first one used to store wares from the West Indies, the second from Greenland, and the third from the Golden Coast of Africa. But now they are repurposed. The first one is a museum, and the second and third are used as offices and apartments. And now on your right hand side, we are approaching a malleable palace where our royal family lives. The building with 4 chimneys is where our current king, King Frederick X, resides with his family. And you can actually see that he's not home right now because there is no flag. If the Danish flag was hoisted, it would mean that he is home. Now our current king is named King Frederick X. That is important because you'll slowly begin to see the dome of a church called Frederick's Church right behind the Malibal Palace. This church is called Frederick's Church, but we like to call it the Marble Church here in Denmark, and it has the biggest dome in all of Scandinavia, and it took 149 years to build it. And it was built by King Frederick V, like I said, many hundred years ago, and you'll see a statue of him in the middle of a Malibal Palace. Now, if you have a good eye, you've noticed there is an access from the Marble Church through Malibal Palace to where we are now. This is the axis of power, and it shows the 3 fundamental powers or elements of our society: God, monarchy, and nature. But on your left-hand side, you'll see that the Opera House is also on this axis. This is on purpose. Maersk give a lot of money, and they wanted to show their power by being on the axis of power. So now it's the 4 fundamental elements of our society: God, monarchy, nature, and culture. And now in front of you on your right hand side, you'll see a beautiful black building. This building is the Royal Playhouse, and the Royal Playhouse opened up in February 2008 with the very popular play by Shakespeare, Hamlet, which also takes place in Denmark. It actually takes place in Kronborg Castle, which you can find about 40 kilometers away from here in Elsinore. Now, if you've never seen Hamlet, you might know a quote from it, "To be or not to be," but I also learned there's another quote, "There is something rotten in Denmark." You can actually see where the actors get ready for their play in the Royal Playhouse. They get ready on the 2nd floor with all the windows. And now we are slowly but surely approaching an area called Christianshavn, which we are going to sail through. It is right behind the paper island that I talked about earlier. Christianshavn was built by King Christian IV, our longest reigning king, and he built it to look like the Netherlands, specifically Amsterdam, because he wanted to attract Dutch merchants from the Netherlands. Unfortunately, his plans did not work. The Dutch would rather live in the original place than a place that looks like it, so Danish people moved in, but it is still extremely beautiful. Now, King Christian IV was known for being the longest reigning king, being king for 60 years, but he's also known for other reasons, such as starting a lot of wars which we lost, and having 23 children.
不同路线。对啊，不同。哇！哇哦！
Now, Christianshavn is a residential area, so luckily for you, I cannot use the microphone for about 10 minutes. I'll let you rest your ears. But I do have to warn you about a bridge before then, and I'll come and try to answer any questions that you might have throughout the boat, just without using the microphone.
有漂浮物吗？10分钟后回来。
We are now approaching a bridge. Please stay seated. Thank you.
谁要喝哦？真的好。嗨
Please sit down. Sit
Sit
down.
down.
Sit down, sit
Sit
down.
down.
Thank you.
Down. 很开心。Food? No. 还这么赞呢？有问题吗？哦，肚子饿了，渴了，想吃零食了。是昨天那个吗？黄色的叫啥？3栋有几栋黄色的那叫？宿舍啦，住的地方，不是吗？不是宿舍。哦，有热呢，要晒黑了，黑了，黑了，黑了。看这个阳台，可以放沙发，哦，手很开心。 龙形旋转头。证券交易所，全世界最早的证券交易
We are now approaching another bridge, but right after the bridge on your left-hand side, you'll get to see Our Savior's Church, or the Church of Our Savior. And it is beautiful, very beautiful, but it is unfortunately being renovated, so it's not as beautiful as normal. We're now approaching the bridge. Please stay seated. Thank you. And right in front of it, you'll see the most photographed tree in all of Copenhagen. Galloping review.
稍纵即逝，快门还没按。
来不及了。为什么这一份？拍不到了。
就在放大缩小间流逝。
And now we are approaching another bridge. This one is quite low, so please stay seated and please stay seated and watch your heads. And it is also, in fact, a ghost bridge. Also, to people that love to touch the bridges, they are about 500 years old and never been touched or cleaned.
啊，接着他们都被强迫要回首，不回首不好意思。1785，5年。
Aber kannst du heute nicht im Zimmer suchen? Weil gestern hast du echt genervt. Du hast den
下一天做这个。哦，绕回来了，还没。哇，这个阳台2只伞，阳伞，好大的阳台。
哎呀，我都来不及，什么都来不及，来不及。
Ich könnte nicht diese scheiß Brücke so machen, wo wir gestern mit dem Fahrrad waren. Hat so klar, diese scheiß Brücke, Digga.
不是不同栋，那个是。
We are now approaching the last bridge of the fire zone, so please be seated again. Thank you.
这也是。
真的差不多有人。
哇，这桥底下美化过的桥。哇，前面这个。
And now in front of you is the Black Diamond, which is the newest addition to the Royal Library, built in 1999, and it has a 7-degree angle towards the water, so when the sun rises in the east and reflects onto the water, it reflects back onto the stone, and it looks like real glimmering diamonds. Even though it's just black granite from Zimbabwe. And now in front of you, you'll see the Blocks building, which has a lot of facilities, such as apartments, events, exhibitions, a lot more. But most important of all, on the top floor, it has a slide you can take all the way down. And also in front of you is the small long bridge, or Lille Lange Bro, which also opens up in a very cool way. It is a walking and bicycle only bridge. You'll see a lot of examples of those here in Copenhagen. but this one opens up by doing a 90-degree turn of the plating in the middle. Very cool. And now we are approaching an area which has a lot of bridges, so I'll be very, very annoying and keep telling you to please stay seated, so please bear with me. We are now approaching a bridge. Please stay seated. Thank you.
Blocks。哇，这什么？晚上会有，晚上还有LED荧幕。哇哦！咚。
Sit down.
Sit down.
We are now approaching another bridge. Please stay seated. Thank you.
Please stay seated. 啊，还可以贴标签哦，是不是？跳上来贴标签。
And now on your right hand side, you'll see the Royal Brew House, which was built by King Christian IV to keep all of the beer that he gave his royal soldiers every day. You see, back in the day, we did not have a lot of clean drinking water. So what was the best solution? Beer. He gave each one of his soldiers 10 liters of beer every single day so they could feed their whole family, even the children. Luckily, though, from what I've read, the alcohol percentage was a lot lower in beer back then, so there weren't any drunk children running around the streets, I hope. We are now approaching another bridge. Please stay seated. Thank you.
Another bridge. Please seated. Thank you.
And now in front of you is the marble bridge, which is actually not made of marble, but it is painted like marble because that was a lot more expensive and a lot more royalty-like back then. It is also the only thing left standing from the old Kaiserspol Palace. We're now approaching the marble bridge. Please stay seated. Sit down. Sit down. Thank you. Now we are approaching the Storm Bridge, which is the most narrow bridge of the tour. So I'll ask you to please keep all of your limbs inside the boat, in the back, your arm in the back. Please keep, thank you. Please keep all your limbs inside the boat. Please stay seated, and please watch your children if you have any on board. Thank you. In the middle.
In the middle.
Thank you.
Storm Bridge. Đây写韩文的，有被我。转弯。
And now our captain is going to do something even more impressive. She's going to do a 90-degree turn right here. So the people in the back, if you're still under the bridge, just watch your heads just in case. Thank you. And now on your right, you'll see to the top of a brown building. This is Christiansborg Palace, which doesn't actually have any royalty inside, but has our parliament. The building has been there since 1928 and was built on top of 5 other buildings, which have all been destroyed or burned down, including 2 other Christiansborg palaces. Right next to it, you'll see a yellow building. This is Torvaldsen's museum, and Torvaldsen is a prominent figure, as he's the only non-Catholic person to have made a sculpture for the Pope. He made sculptures in Rome for over 40 years before donating all the sculptures to the city of Copenhagen, which you can get to see him there alongside his body because he's buried there. In front of you, you'll see a statue of a guy riding a horse. This is Archbishop Absalon, and he got credited for founding Copenhagen in 1167 for a very, very long time. But archaeologists found that everything on your left-hand side here, called Gamle Strand or Old Shore, is the actual oldest part of Copenhagen, dating all the way back to the Stone Age. Back then, there were villages here, and villagers would come to Gamle Strand or Old Shore to fish. And to commemorate the people that lived here, they built a statue of a fisherwoman at the end of Gamle Strand or Old Shore. Now, the funny thing about the statue of Archbishop Absalon is that he is riding an Arabic horse. But when he was alive, we did not have those here. We had small Icelandic horses, which would probably break their back if you tried to ride on them. But they wanted him to look cool when they built the statue 700 years after his death, so they made him ride an Arabic horse, even though we did not have those here. We are now approaching a bridge, so please stay seated. Thank you.
Wow, 这是青铜马。眼睛
And now on your right, you'll get a beautiful view of Christiansborg Palace from the front. You can also get to briefly see the statue of Frederick VII in front of Christiansborg Palace. I did mention that our parliament is here, and Frederick VII was the person who signed our constitution back in 1849. And he was also clinically insane. And now we are approaching another bridge, so please stay seated. Please sit down. Sit down. In the back. Hey, sit down. Thank you. I probably noticed there's a trend of buildings burning down here in Copenhagen. But luckily, the building you see on your right here, Børsen or the Danish Stock Exchange, is an exception because it has a spire with 4 dragon tails on it, which for people back in the day, again, meant that it is protected against fires. Unfortunately, it did burn down 2 years ago on the Old Queen's birthday, but the building stood there for 400 years, one of the oldest buildings in terms of age in all of Copenhagen. And now they are renovating it, making it more modern on the inside while keeping the traditional look on the outside. And you can see the inside renovations for yourself by going into the exhibition. And the outside renovations they just revealed about 2 months ago to the public on the other side of this bridge. Also, coincidentally, it did burn down on the same date as Notre Dame. We are now approaching another bridge. Please stay seated. Thank you. And I can see the first outside renovations open to the public. And now on your left, you'll see some containers. Well, they're housing the people that are renovating the Danish National Bank right behind it. Unfortunately, the Danish National Bank is also being renovated, so you cannot see it in all of its glory. But people say it is Arne Jacobsen's masterpiece. He designed everything from outside of the building to everything on the inside, even spoons, forks, and knives. But unfortunately, he didn't get to see it finished, as he died in 1971, and the building was first finished in 1978. Also on your right, you'll see the kayak bar, which I'll tell you more about after this bridge. We are approaching another bridge. Please stay seated. Thank you. Now in the kayak bar, you can actually get a kayak for completely free and go all around the Copenhagen canals and harbor for yourself. The only price is you have to gather enough trash in the canals. How much is enough trash? Thank you for asking, young lady. You need to gather enough trash to fill a whole bucket. So if you're brave enough to try that, I implore you to try to get a boat or kayak there. And now, in front of you on your left, you'll see a beautiful green building with a clock on it. This building used to be a place where all ships coming into Copenhagen had to check in with their cargo. Later on, it was a place where all Swedish ferries coming in and out of Copenhagen had to check in, but now there's no need for either. So it's a private nightclub where you need a membership to come in, and a restaurant where you can eat and drink.
对啊，好尬。
And now in front of you, you'll see a very big bridge, which we are going to sail under. That is the Inner Harbor Bridge, or as we like to call it in Denmark, the Kissing Bridge. It is not called the Kissing Bridge because people kiss on it, but because it opens and closes in a very particular way. It doesn't go up and down like normal bridges, it goes to the sides, so when it closes in, it looks like a gentle kiss. It is one of many walking and bicycle-only bridges that we have in all of Copenhagen, like the one I mentioned before, because we are trying to be more bicycle-friendly, like the Dutch. Now, the people that made it estimated that around 10,000 bicycles would use it every single day, but now it is actually closer to 30,000. Now, one more fun fact about the bridge before we sail under it. If you believe in love stories, people do say that it brings good luck to kiss under the bridge. And as your guide, I have to always be available. If you didn't kiss under the bridge, it's 20 years of bad luck. And now we are slowly approaching Newhound again, which there are still a few things I can mention which are pretty cool. First of which is that Hans Christian Andersen, the person who made the fairy tale of The Little Mermaid and a lot more, lived here for many years. He lived in number 18, number 20, and then number 67 where he died, and he wanted to live here because it is so close to the Royal Theatre, which he loved so much. The second thing I want to mention is you probably noticed that all the buildings are different colors and very vibrant colors. This is not because it looks pretty, maybe that's a part of it, but it was actually because back in the day it was very hard to navigate specific addresses. So what they did is they colored all the buildings different colors so the drunkard sailors could get home. And now we are approaching the first bridge again, which is now our last. Remember, it is the lowest bridge of the tour, so please stay seated and watch your heads. We are now approaching the bridge, so please stay seated. Thank you. Now this is unfortunately the end of our tour, so please remember your belongings, remember to throw out your trash into the trash cans, and please stay seated until our captain tells you you can leave the boat, because I need to dock the boat first. Thank you for coming with us, have a great day.
Thank you. How much is it? 水蓝色啊，还是黄色？就这么大街的。
将近1个小时的游船即将结束，影片也即将在这里告一段落。北欧10几天的旅游行程也完成了最后一站。祝你有美好的一天，工作顺利，生活美满如意。工地流放，我们下一个旅游行程见喽。